Hey guys, it's Tuesday, November 5th, and I don't know how many times I've tried to make this video anymore. I keep getting interrupted or changing what I'm doing. So, I want to tell you about why I go to a natural doctor. I mentioned a video or two ago that I go and see a natural doctor regularly. So, I'll start from the beginning. When I was in high school, it was about 2003, I believe. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They've taken it back and forth and never really made a final decision on which one it is. Either way, they're basically the same. One just is more than the other. Like, one is your entire digestive tract, the other is just the intestinal area. So yeah, like I said, they've changed it, whichever. In the end, I guess it doesn't matter too much. So, they got it under control. Everything was great until 2008, that December of 2008. I finally called my doctor because it had been bothering me for about a month. And I called my doctor and I was like, hey, it's acting up. Can you do something? We need, So he prescribed something over the phone and put me on it, and it didn't help. He had told me to call in 2 days and let him know how I was doing. So I called him, or not 2 days, sorry, 2 weeks. So I called him 2 weeks later, and I was like, well, it's still not helping. It's not, it's the same, maybe worse. He said, okay, and gave me something else and told me to call him in 2 weeks. And so this went on for months. It wasn't till summer when he finally, actually, he didn't even want to see me at all. Like, he never saw me in all this time. He just kept giving me something different or telling me to try it for a little longer. So that summer, I ended up talking to someone else. He was out of town, and they told me to come in. And because I had come in to see them, they told me I had to go see my doctor. So when I went in and saw my doctor, he's like, oh, hey, what's going on? You not feeling good? I'm like, we've been talking every 2 weeks for the last how many months? And the thing is, I actually talked to him. Like, I don't usually talk to the doctor when I call. It's usually the nurse. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I don't think there's anything more I can do for you. I'm going to have to send you to someone else. So he sends me up to Hospital Milwaukee, Freighter Hospital, and has me go see one of the doctors up there. I believe they're a teaching college, or a teaching hospital, because every time I would go in, there were multiple people in the room with me, and so it just seemed like that type of thing. I'm not really sure. So I would go up there. They were basically doing the same stuff, and finally, they wanted to put me on this medicine. It was an infusion where I'd have to get it, go in and have them put a drip through an IV in, I think it was like monthly or maybe more often. I can't remember for sure. And there was still no guarantee that it was going to work. Nothing was working. So the doctor said to me, he's like, you need to go online and research it though, because you need to look at the side effects first. And I've never heard a doctor say that before. And I haven't since. So to me that was like, okay, this is extreme. This is a big deal. So I went home and researched it, and I was looking at it, and it said that the side effects, I don't remember what medicine it was, but the side effects included kidney failure, liver failure, hepatitis, TB, cancer, infection to the point of death. I don't even remember, leukemia, all this stuff. And I do believe, like, medicine is this great thing. Like, look how far we've come over years. But I also think that sometimes it's not too much, but some of them seem to do more harm than good. But anyway, so I talked to my parents about it, and they were like, it's your decision. Whatever you feel like you need to do. At this time, we were kind of discussing maybe going to Mayo instead, but doing research, it looked like they were going to do basically the same thing. So, we decided, they told me whatever I wanted to do. I decided that I didn't want to go on it yet. At this point, it had been over a year. Over a year since I hadn't been feeling good, and I decided that I wasn't going to go on it yet, and I wanted to try something else. So, at this point, I had also had to quit one of my jobs. I was working 2 jobs before, and I had to quit one of them because I was calling in sick way too often. Multiple times a week I was calling in sick. And so I called my boss one morning and I was like, "Hey Bill, it's Kelly. I'm not going to make it again. And I know you're working on next month's schedule right now. And I know I'm not helpful to you right now. I'm probably making things more difficult than I am being helpful, because of how much I'm calling in, and then you need to find someone to replace me. So why don't you just leave me off of next month's schedule? Because I'm sure it'll just be easier for you if that's the case." And at the time, I thought I'd go back once I started feeling better, but it was too long, and so I didn't. That was when I was still in school, and I had a school job as well. So I continued working that job because that one, it was okay if I didn't get in. I had my job that I did, and if I didn't make it in, they just put it in a pile, and I'd do it the next day. So it wasn't as huge of a deal. So that's what I did. So yeah, a friend of mine told me about this guy that I see now and told me that he's had success with Crohn's in the past. So I decided, okay, let's give it a shot. Insurance doesn't cover it. So I pay out of pocket. Sometimes they'll give me somewhat of a reimbursement, but not much. So at the time I was still in school, so my parents paid, because they knew I couldn't afford to, especially since I was only working one job now. And even at that, I wasn't working very much. So I started seeing him, and within 3 months, he had me feeling better. The things that I did was I stopped eating white flour, sugar, and corn syrup, and he put me on a few supplements. Not to say that's what's going to work for everyone, because everyone's different. Everyone's case is different. Everyone's situation is different. But that's what worked for me. And I'm very passionate now about natural medicine, natural healing. I'm not extreme. Like, I'll still go to my family doctor that I grew up with, and he'll give me an antibiotic or whatever for something, and I'll take it. That's no big deal. But like for my knee, when I went and saw that specialist, he wanted to give me a cortisone shot, and that was all. He said there's nothing else he could do for me. The only thing he could do was give me a cortisone shot. And I didn't take it because part of this natural stuff is, it's not just fixing what doesn't feel good, it's fixing the actual problem. Just because something doesn't feel good doesn't mean that that's where the problem originates. So, especially seeing all the side effects that medicine have these days, I didn't want to do that. Medicine can cause so many problems. Like, they'll fix one, but how many more can they cause? And I just don't want to deal with that. I'm just very passionate about this. Like I said, I'm not extreme. I try to eat healthier. That's not been working. But now, I did very well about not eating white flour, sugar, or corn syrup, when I wasn't feeling good. But then after I felt better, I started eating it again. In fact, I remember the very weekend that I started eating it again. I was down in Iowa visiting a friend from college, and I started eating again, and I'd lost pretty good weight during that time. Part of that was probably from being sick. Part of it was from eating healthier. So yeah. But I just wanted to tell you guys about my experience in the all-natural medicine. If you have questions, ask away. I'm nowhere near being an expert of any type. To be honest, I'm probably not even very knowledgeable about this stuff. However, I have a desire to learn, for one. But I know other people who do know stuff, and I I would love to see more people be at least somewhat informed. The food that we eat, especially in America, is so processed and filled with chemicals and fake. It's just bad. It's bad for you. Yeah. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please leave them. I would love to know what they are. Any feedback that you have, yeah, give it to me. Like I said, I've tried making this multiple times, so I finally, during my lunch break today at work, I decided to quickly try and do it. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, and I hope that I can make another video before next week. I know it's been over a week, and I was trying to do it at least weekly, preferably more often. So, alright, I love you all. Have a great day. Bye.